What's up, self-healers? Lisa Lightfeather here. Welcome to my channel, Closing the Gap, where we make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and your spiritual journey. Today, I wanted to come on and talk about nurture versus nature. Or is it neither when it comes to narcissism? So, the idea that narcissism or any other personality disorder is created by the way one is nurtured versus their environment, nature, right? And so they've basically said that narcissism is caused by some type of abuse or some type of either no love or too much love, right? And so, and very seldom do they mention the fact that narcissism, that there is some, they like the term some, there is some evidence that narcissism may be genetic. So primarily the mother has been blamed for this mental health disorder. So the mother has been blamed for the condition that society is in. Don't you just love that? How they make it the woman's fault that people in the world are all messed up, to include narcissism, psychopaths, antisocial personality disorder, sociopaths. They blame the mother. Isn't that interesting? Don't you find that interesting? How they blame the woman, the feminine energy? Mothers often got labeled, sometimes unfairly, by professionals, the families, and society overall. Some of the labels that these women were giving, the reason that their children had narcissism or they were some type of psychopath or something, was that they would give mothers labels such as the overbearing mother. This is the mother that was, don't go left, go right, overbearing. You didn't do good enough. You made an A. Oh my gosh, you should have made an A+. That type of mother. The enmeshed mother. This is the mother that enmeshes with her child, that she can't identify where she ends and the child begins. A lot of times this is the mother that creates the mama's boys, that treats their son like their man, destroying the son. The son's always looking for his mother in another woman. Or else she doesn't let him leave. Like she just, she makes her son stay around forever. Or her daughter stay around forever. It's called, what is this called? It's called emotional incest. I'm going to make a video on that topic. The neglectful mother. The mother that just has children and lets them rot. Lets them survive on their own. Usually some drug addict or something that all she does is lay up and get high. That's the neglectful mother. The invalidating mother. Never giving the child validation, never telling the child that they're beautiful or that they're handsome or that they're smart or that they can do anything they want to. The over-validating mother, doing the opposite. Oh, you can be anything you want to be. You can go anywhere you want to go. You can do anything you want to do. The world owes you. The world is your oyster and they owe it to you on a silver platter. That's the over-validating mother. Then you have the helicopter mother, the one that hovers over the child. Put this helmet on. Oh, don't drink out of the water hose. It'll kill you. Put these knee pads on. Overprotecting the child. Put this bubble wrap on before you go to school. Overprotecting the child, never allowing the child to experience life's ups and downs. Then you have the smothering mother, the mother that hovers over the child, doesn't let the child go outside, doesn't let the child have any friends, whatever you want to consider the smothering mother to be. But it's kind of self-explanatory, where they just smother the child. They never let the child grow and be free. This one gets me every time. The refrigerator mother. They refer to a woman as the refrigerator mother, a mother that is so cold and detached from her child that the child comes out with. This is what they used to say. They used to say that autism was caused by the refrigerator mother. Mothers who have autistic children are some of the most loving mothers I've ever seen. But they used to refer to mothers who had children that had autism as the refrigerator mother. Cold, detached. Nurse the child with a frozen breast. Some of the stuff that they say is so humiliating and degrading to women. And of course you have the bad mother, because most mothers are perfect. What a joke. The psychological world, the world of psychology, is a circus. It's a comedy. It's like watching a freaking sitcom of comedies. A series of comedies with some of these names that they give the mother. Don't you find it interesting that they don't give the father's names? That the father plays no part in the upbringing of a child? That the father plays no part in the creation of a child? You would think that as bad as these mothers are, that they would be able to create a child by themselves. The titles and the names that they have given mothers, it has been to shame the mother, to make the mother feel less than, to make the mother feel guilt, shame, regret. They have labeled these mothers. And 90% of the time, it has been unfair labels. Because psychology cannot grow, it cannot move, it cannot expand. They won't crack it open and get to the root of the real problems. Psychology they're still falling under the principle of Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. Now don't get me wrong, I love me some Carl Jung. Carl Jung was Sigmund Freud's student. And when Carl Jung got in there and saw the psychopath this person was, he said, nah, I gotta break off. I can't be around you. But they've been going under the direction of Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, check this out, for 120 years. Nothing new. They might tweak the name a little bit, but it's nothing new. And they tweak the name, like right now they're thinking about tweaking the name of narcissism in the DSM-5 because they just can't narrow it down to what it is. And so they want to tweak it. They can't narrow it down. They can't blame the mother, and they can't blame genes, and they can't blame the environment. They don't know what causes narcissism. And the reason they don't know what causes narcissism, because you can have a child that comes from a family that's considered the American dream, the perfect home. And 5 of the children can come out without any mental health disorder, and that 6th one comes out with narcissism. Or they've done studies on twins, identical twins. Identical twins that have been separated at birth, and one has been raised by one family and the other has been raised by the other family, and one comes out with narcissism and one doesn't. Baby, let me tell you something about this flawed system. They've also done studies on fraternal twins, which means they're in 2 separate sacs. And one comes out with some type of mental health disorder and one doesn't. Now they're all in the same household. They have the same mother. They have the same father. They experience the same environment. And then one has it and one doesn't. Explain that. They can't. So they poo-poo it. They say stuff like, well, each child experiences the abuse differently. Okay, there may be some truth to that. But the math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'. So mothers have carried this burden of the entire mental health system. It's the mother. It's the mother. The father had absolutely nothing to do with it. This is crazy work. When 2 people come together, they not only come together scientifically, physically, mentally, but they come together spiritually. Just as there are actually sexually transmitted diseases, There are spiritually transmitted diseases. You sleep with a demon, you'll suffer at the hands of that demon, and you may turn around and give birth to that demon. Let me tell you something. Now, they ain't ready for this. They're not ready for this perspective that narcissism is a spiritual demon. They're not ready for that. Why, might you ask? Why does it reside? Because in this earth realm is the earth school. We're here to learn. We're here to clear karmic debt. We're here to pass the test. We're here to graduate. Some of us choose to come back as the narcissist. Some of us choose to come back as the empath. We choose to walk the path, the spiritual journey, the karmic path. You're not going to like this part. The narcissist is the teacher. The empath is the student. And until the empath graduates, they will forever be a victim at the hands of the narcissist. Now, once the empath graduates, the narcissist can't touch you. As a matter of fact, they fear you. They see you walking in the spiritual realm with your graduation hat and all of your cords. You've mastered it. This is spiritual warfare. The blaming of the mother is old news. Go away. We don't want to hear it anymore. 90% of mothers do their absolute best in raising their children. But you still blame the mother with 500 different labels of what the mother is. And the father just skates by. Even the children blame the mother because the father packs his bags and leaves, and the mother is left to stay with the children. And so she's undoubtedly blamed for everything that has ever happened in their lives. Enough of this folly. This is spiritual warfare. Is it nature versus nurture versus neither? I say it's neither. I say it's spiritual. Narcissism is a spiritual demon that has the capacity to jump from body to body to body. And they use your vessel when you are a low vibrating empath. They use your vessel because you know no better and you birth it. And no matter what you do, you get away from the father who's a freaking psychopath, and you go try to nurture your baby and be like, you're never going to experience that. I got you. And they still grow up to be demons. Don't play with me. I'm speaking facts. I'm not speaking some woo-woo that's written in a book in the DSM-5. I went to school for that stuff, got it. One of the reasons that I don't have the capacity to work in it is because it's too much red tape. You can't really help anybody and you can't speak your truth. I may give it another try just to see if I can pave a way. Pave a way with truth instead of rhetoric about how horrible the feminine energy is and that we are at fault for the capacity, for the situation that the world is in. This is spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare has been going on since the beginning of times. What? You thought it stopped because you were born? Now that's a bit narcissist of you. That's a bit narcissistic of you to think that spiritual warfare stopped because you were born. Cain and Abel, spiritual warfare. Samson and Delilah, spiritual warfare. Clinton and Lewinsky. Well, I don't know if that's spiritual warfare, but it's some crazy shit going on there. The way that the women have been blamed for this dilemma that we go through here, this war that we're in here on the spiritual realm, is crazy to me. Adam and Eve. They blamed Eve for every sin in the world. The Bible was written by a man. In order for Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung to admit that the father may have had something to do with the creation of a narcissistic child or a psychopath or something of that sort, would mean that men would have to take responsibility. Now, if they could have divided it and said, "Oh yeah, it's those people over there, the ones with that color of skin and that culture, they create the narcissist," but they couldn't do that because Carl Jung knew about the shadow, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Carl Jung knew about it, and he got on the mountaintops and screamed about shadow work, that all people have darkness and all people have light, and that one has to integrate that. And if they don't integrate it, they walk in the dark. Some people get in that dark and they like it so much they walk in it for the rest of their life. So is it nature, nurture, or neither? What is it? Spiritual warfare has been going on since the beginning of time. And it doesn't stop just because I was born or you were born. It continues on. People who have had near-death experiences, when they graduate this earth realm, some of them try to graduate prematurely. They're tired, and they try to get out of here prematurely, and they go back over to the other side, the other realms, and they say, hey, hold up, partner. It ain't your time. You can't skip high school. You can't skip college. You got to go back down there and get back in middle school where you belong. They get in middle school, they get tired. I can't take it no more. I'm ready to go. The spirit decides to, let me just crash into this tree or something. They decide to exit early. You got to go back. You got to go back and finish this earth school. But people who have graduated and they went up there and then they got sent back, they don't talk about spiritual warfare. Some of them talk about they've seen hell, that they went straight to hell. They were some nasty bastards. They must have been some nasty ones. But they go over there. They don't talk about spiritual warfare. They don't talk about the narcissist empath dynamic and people going against each other. They talk about peace and how they were disappointed that they had to come back here to this earth realm. And a lot of them will say that the person that met them, the spirit that met them on the other side will say, you still have work to do. It's not your time. They have to come back here. They have to finish their contract. Spiritual warfare. So is it nature? Is it nurture? Or is it neither? Self-healers, I'm going to have to go with the final answer, which is neither. It's a spiritual demon that comes here to walk the karmic path with the empath until the empath is enlightened. At the end of the day, we all go to the next realm. But we first have to pass the test here. And that's what I'm sticking with. That's my answer, and that's what I'm sticking with. It's not the woman's fault. It's not the mother's fault. Enough of this folly with blaming the mother. And the father walks silent. That doesn't even make sense. You'd think that the woman had the baby by herself. It doesn't make sense. It's common sense. Ooh, honey, let me tell you something. Well, that's all I have for you today. Here on Closing the Gap, we make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and your spiritual journey. I hope that you guys are enjoying your week, and I hope that you're taking time for yourself throughout your day to love on yourself, to do something that's healing for yourself, and to honor yourself along this journey. It's not an easy journey, but we got this, empaths. We got this, self-healers. Keep going, one day at a time, one step at a time. Yep. One day you're going to graduate, and you'll be happy that you've done so. Sometimes you graduate here in this earth realm and you have to turn back around and help others. It's part of the school, yeah? You're going to get backlash. You're going to get repercussions. There's a backlash to being a leader, a teacher, someone who opens the path for someone else. But just like you survived everything else, you'll survive this. That's all I have for you today. If you like my energy, please don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment, maybe share the video. Yeah, I might have to get on some other platforms, TikTok and Instagram. I don't really want to, but in order for my channel to grow, I may have to do those things. Anywho, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment, and if you're really feeling my vibe, hit that bell notification so that you know the next time that I upload. We'll see you next time here on Closing the Gap. Y'all have a good day.